going to give me all the type of delivery tools like H5P and Bookboon. So what if I want to learn more about H5P and how we use it here at Embry-Riddle? Well, if you click on H5P, it brings you to this cool, easy to understand page where it gives you the tool summary. It gives you how you can access it. So in this case, it's for course developers. So a course developer can put in a request when they're building their course and get an H5P developed for the course. It gives you the tech specs and it also gives you some support. But what's really unique about this new type of web application that we developed is that it gives you a random selection of similar programs. So before you saw Bookboon. So if we click on Bookboon, it'll tell us the the Bookboon tool summary, access type, tech specs, similar programs, and support. So this is a really fun and easy way to kind of seamlessly learn about all the tools in a specific category um, and what they can do for your course. Now, let's just say really quick, we wanted to head into visual. So some of these tools you might actually seen before, like Canva or Sway, maybe even Whiteboard. So what if we want to learn more about Whiteboard? So if we click on Whiteboard, we can get the same information, the tool summary, access type, tech specs, and similar programs. We wanted to make a more seamless experience for everyone to learn about all the tools that are currently available. And as of right now, this website is not currently live. Um, we are currently working with IT to get it to a live link. So as soon as it is ready, we're going to inform everybody and let you know that it's available to you. So we're really excited to get this off to everyone. I hope everybody gets used to it and uses it. We will also be providing information about upcoming tools. And so that's also very exciting. And a couple of the tools that we're talking about today aren't actually on here because they're new and upcoming tools, things we didn't even know about. So I'm really excited. So I'm going to pass it off to Jorge and we'll continue on.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, there we go. Thank you so much, Vincent. One of the things that we're going to dive into, please understand, there's an ebb and flow. We have over 100 digital tools, and some of them are so unique and so specific that are only used in one or two courses. Yeah, I'm calling you out, College of Aviation, but we need it. We need it. It's what makes us and sets us apart of giving those real world experience to worldwide. So what Vincent and I are going to go back and forth right now is that Vincent's going to present a list of tools that some of them are going to be specific. You need a license, and those are specific and unique to a specific course. Some of them are open because we work for Embry-Riddle. They have license for Embry-Riddle employees, and then some are free. We decided to include those because some of them we've done tool reviews on, and others they're just available tools that we find unique. We are not including the 100 and plus. We have narrowed it down. The instructional technologist team, we've worked really hard to narrow down which tools are used the most. And at the same time, we're filtering out and putting that and sharing it with Vincent to add to the new website. So as we progress, we're filtering out what is useful, what is not being used anymore. But today, we're going to focus on so many unique tools. We are very excited. Vincent, take it away.
So one of our first categories we talked about before is content delivery. Something that we currently have licensed for courses right now are is a license for perusal. You have Embry-Riddle licensing, which is available to you now through LinkedIn. Some of you may already have access to H5P. Some of you may not. But what's really cool is that there are quite a few free tools that you can use, like Bookboon and H5P.org. Um, but what's really unique is one that I actually found extremely interesting, and I'm looking forward to Jorge talking about, which is Notebook LM. It's a really fun and cool tool, and I'm going to pass it off to Jorge to go ahead and start talking about Notebook LM. Jorge, you're muted.
Thank you. Technical difficulties, it figures. All of the links are hyperlinked from the PowerPoint. So they're either going to have a direct link to our tool reviews or direct link to the websites, video tutorials, and so on and so forth. Notebook LM, oh my goodness, this slice of pie, bread, whatever you call it, this amazing goodness is backed by Google. It uses Google Gemini in the background. I'm going to walk you through it. There's just so much to dive into. And a little side note, I believe I just saw Mandira. Mandira is on with us today. She will have a presentation that will dive into how you can use practical uses of Notebook LM within education. So let's get started. This is on the left-hand side is where you're going to add all of your resources. Judy Fike was one of the ones that actually put in the tool request, and she was gracious enough to share how she uses it. So she sent us a screenshot. So what's interesting is you add all your sources. It could be websites, it could be PDFs, so on and so forth. What is really crazy is you're adding all your sources up to 300 sources, and you check mark which sources you want for the AI to dive in and analyze for you. The middle part is where you get the Gemini, the chat bot. This is where you put in your prompt. You type in your prompt, you click on send, and like all Gen AI, they're going to pretty much highlight and look and summarize whatever the prompt that you said, and it will give you the source of information from the sources that you have check marked. And you can again interact with it, make sure that the more you the more you find narrow down your prompt, it will give you a better result. Speaking of results, on the right-hand side, where it says the interactive mode and so on and so forth, that's where you're going to need to save your results. It doesn't automatically save them. As of last time I checked, they keep making updates like crazy. It's sometimes so hard to keep up. One week it's something, and the next week is, oh, we just added this. We heard your call. So, as of from my understanding, once you had your result, you save it onto the right-hand side, all of the notes and so on and so forth. But what is really interesting and makes Notebook LM unique is the following feature. You can generate a podcast. Yes, you heard me correct. A podcast based upon the results. And it literally is a dialogue between two people, just like you listen to a podcast. the they took it even to the next level where you can interact with the podcast. You can interrupt the podcast as they're giving you information. This is great for review for all those people that prefer auditory listening to documentation of a summary. This is amazing because you can even interrupt and say, "Oh, I forgot to ask the chat about this." You pretty much interrupt it, put in your information, and the podcast will start interacting with you. That is pretty unique. So I wish I can dive a little bit more into it, but we have so much to cover, and Vincent's going to share our next category.
So the next category we have are visual tools. As you can see here, we don't have a Canvas license for visual tools, but we do have Embry-Riddle licensing for visual tools like Canva, Microsoft Visio, and Microsoft Whiteboard. We also have a couple of free tools like Lucidchart and Visme. But the tool that we're going to be talking about today is one I didn't know we had access to until Jorge brought me in on this wonderful presentation, and that's Microsoft Whiteboard. And after learning so much about it, I actually started using it, and I hope you find some more interesting facts about it and start using it as well. So off to you, Jorge.
Thank you, Vincent. As Vincent said, it's part of the Microsoft ecosystem. If we're familiar with the app launcher, aka Waffle, I like waffles a lot. The waffle over here on the top left corner, whether that's on our Ernie page, when you're on any of the Microsoft apps, you click on the waffle and you will see the Microsoft Whiteboard. If it doesn't automatically appear there, click on more apps and it will pop up. What's very unique about Microsoft Whiteboard, it's been around for some time now. It seamlessly integrates into Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it is a learning curve. A lot of people like to compare it to Padlet. Each tool has its unique features. The beauty about Microsoft Whiteboard, it seamlessly integrates with all your Microsoft apps, especially Teams. So before a meeting, you can actually go into your whiteboard, select a template, a different type of template, and have it prepared. Make sure, like anything else, your naming conventions are very, very important. Because then when you click on the share button in Teams, you can scroll down and select share whiteboard, and it will automatically link your personal whiteboard and make a copy of that whiteboard. Again, convention is very important, and it will pull it and it will automatically save it for that Teams call. So as an example, let's go back to 2023. One of our initiatives for the instructional technologists, we also do webinars called Launchpads. And in 2023, we decided to let's do a digital tool that focuses in Microsoft products. So we identified Microsoft Dictation, PowerPoint Designer, Whiteboard. Those are the top three that we ended up. And we pretty much said, okay, when you get a chance, start playing around with Whiteboard. It has a little learning curve. You have to zoom in and out to see certain things. But we started posting, we started playing around with it. Before we knew it, we had made the decision. It just happened that we made a decision that not a lot of people know about Whiteboard, and it would have a better user case for our team. You gave an opportunity to put in, as you can see, web links, videos, PDFs, documents. It is pretty unique in the sense of, and they're big on emojis and so on and so forth, as you can see at the bottom. So there's different ways of communicating automatically. The beauty of this is once you've given the permissions to the person or to the team, um, anyone can come in here and actually post at their whenever they have availability to interact with the whiteboard. If you have something in mind and it's like, you know what, I really need to just put it as a marker, you come in and then you can bring it up at the meeting later on. And you can mention people and so on and so forth. So it is a pretty unique product that, like I mentioned, you don't need to integrate it into Teams. You can just share a board with pretty much whoever you invite. However, we're going to move forward now to communication tools.
So there are loads of ways that you can communicate with either staff, faculty, students. One of those types of communication tools that we're currently using in our courses is YellowDig. Very good for discussions and communicating with your students on specific subjects. It's a really cool tool. Some other tools that we're currently utilizing that we have access to today are ePortfolios, Padlet, Teams, Microsoft Loop, and a really cool tool that's actually free, which Jorge and I have had many discussions about, is Wakelet. Um, I know Jorge is probably gonna touch a little base on Wakelet, but the tool we're actually going to be talking about here is Microsoft Loop, which is something I didn't even know existed. But now that I know, I started using it, and it's a really fun tool. But I'm going to pass it off to Jorge because I know he's going to talk a little bit about Wakelet before he moves on.
Yes, he read my mind. He's definitely my brother from another mother.
Yep.
It is Wakelet is a curating tool. I originally was going to do the presentation on Wakelet. It is a curation tool. It's pretty much you can add web links. It's almost like if you can imagine for those who are familiar with Pinterest. It's like Pinterest and Padlet had a baby. So you can have an infinite amount of boards. The downside is the free application only gives you a chance to actually collaborate 3 or 4 boards, which is the downside. But oh my goodness, it is so unique. It is amazing. It seamlessly integrates with all of our Microsoft products, even though it's not owned by Microsoft. It has a very strong partnership with Microsoft. So you can even sign on. You can create an account automatically by selecting single sign in using your Microsoft account, and they will link it. It is beautiful. It is very, very beautiful. But the more I spoke to Vincent and I spoke to other members of the DAI team, they said, you know what, you really should highlight Loop. On that note, I've been trying to push Loop, and this is my chance. Let's take a quick glance at it right now.
Keep up with fast-moving projects with Microsoft Loop. Loop's flexible workspaces and pages evolve to meet your team's needs. With Loop workspaces, you can gather everything and everyone you need for your project in one place. Let Loop start off your project right, finding the most relevant files and documents for your new workspace. Workspaces expand and evolve with your team's ideas. Organize your workspace any way you like by dragging and dropping pages and subpages. On a page, drag and drop content and simply remove or add parts. With flexible workspaces and pages, you and your team can keep your project moving forward. Think, plan, and create. Together like never before. With Microsoft Loop.
I really love their slogan, think, plan, create together. Because even if you use the most, they're only unique, you might say that's the only feature I'm interested in, then please use it. And it's what is called a component. That is their basic functionality. Again, I'm making the analogy of if you can imagine Teams. Okay, so it's pretty much Teams and OneNote having a baby. Okay, it's like having Teams and OneNote having a baby. It's an amazing communication. There's a little, once again, it's been in development about 3 or 4 years now, and they keep adding more. The number one thing that I truly I say, if anything else, please use the component feature. The component feature is found, actually, let me be even more specific. Let's use a little bit of zoom. This is a screenshot of uh, literally Teams. And at the bottom right corner, basically where you add to the left or wherever location, you see their icon. That is the loop icon. And that icon, when you select it, specifically in Teams, most of it is what you have access to in Teams is going to give you, it's an Excel sheet. Let's call a spade a spade. It's an Excel sheet. And what occurs is that it creates and it asks you what type of Excel sheet you want to use. Well, of course, in our team, lunch is very important. So we needed to vote. So I selected the vote table and you label it because again, naming convention is very important. Please make sure you label so you can look for those conventions. I should say the loop component and you can reuse the loop component. So naming conventions, team lunch. Then I input all of the 3 choices where we were going to go. I provided the website menu, and as you can see, we went to Tia Cores that day. You can add different rules. You can export it as an Excel sheet. Um, the one caveat is that whoever creates the component is the owner of that component, even if it's created in Teams. That is the one little caveat. Okay. Thank you, Marquita. So it is pretty unique. The next one, here's the workspace. So this is how the OneNote notebook works. So they call this a workspace. You create a new workspace. Then within that workspace, for example, I created the think, plan, create together. I started adding pages for Vincent and I to pretty much check it out. So I added some resources for Microsoft Loop, project planning. It has tons of templates also. And what's really unique about it is that you can create anything into a component that is here. There was another situation where one of our team members asked a question and said, do me a favor, at the end of the week, please email us. Well, what I did is I grabbed that loop component, I created her question into a loop component and change it to a question and answer. Side note, question and answer only works in Outlook. And then everyone automatically that I included in that email automatically started adding all of their comments. So by the end of the day, that person had all the answers, all the questions she had answered within that one Outlook because of the loop component. So it's very unique. It's amazing because it does do collaboration. The one downside is that whoever owns or creates the workspace or the component owns it. You can transfer, at this point, it lets you transfer ownership, just in case you won the lotto, you can transfer it over to another person. So that is what's unique about Microsoft Loop. It's a great collaboration. Vincent, I know, has a lot of projects. And the main reason what I haven't been promoting is because a lot of us here at the Worldwide Campus uses a very robust tool, which is named Reich, which is a project management software. But if you are not in that ecosystem, please check out the Microsoft Loop. It really takes you step by step. Okay, so on that note, does anyone have any questions? Either use the raise hand or unmute, please.
Or we'll let Marquita. Marquita, do you want to?
I don't think they can unmute,
Okay.
but there was some questions in the chat.
Oh,
Yes, I saw one earlier. Someone asked, could you please provide the links? I'm not sure exactly what links, maybe to some of the tools that you mentioned. Now, this PowerPoint is in the resources, but does it have links to those resources that
every single thing that's highlighted blue, every
Mhm.
single table, every single tool that's listed here will have a link. So
Awesome.
all of those are hyperlinked.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if they were requesting the link for the website to view all of the tools, it's currently not live. We do not currently have a live link. However, we are working with IT to get this to production, which would become a live link. And then we'll send it out to everybody.
Are
Awesome. Someone did ask, was this a part of the Media Hub? But I think you just answered that question. But they also said, what they said, is this in addition to the Media Hub or a replacement? So will we be getting rid of the Media Hub that I know John Sexton Teams kind of manages?
Um, no, this is separate. So this web page, this web uh application for the Instructional Technologies Hub is separate. It's going to be its own hub. So the media team web pages and hubs will all still be where they're supposed to be, and this will be a new addition to um to the web, the internet, I guess you could say. Uh,
Carrie
uh
asked, are any of these tools going to be highlighted in an upcoming launchpad? At this moment,
yes.
no.
Yeah, Notebook LM.
Notebook LM, I apologize.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Yep. So Notebook LM is going to be presented by, I think, John Buchanan and team. Yes, no?
No, no. Oh, for the workshop later on, yes, but I believe the
Oh,
question was in a launchpad.
okay. So then I do not know the answer to that.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No problem. If we don't have any other questions, just as a, is the poll coming up for you guys?
It did
Yes.
pop up for me.
I feel like we're watching a race right now,
Yeah, like a
don't you?
race, like which who's going to win?
Yes, it keeps fluctuating.
I know I want to vote, but I guess because I'm a host, I can't vote.
Yeah, I can't vote either. I I am interested in the other. If you're whoever selected other, if you if you could share what other program, I would be interested in knowing what the others are
Yes, please. Vincent read my mind. If you can
if
put it in the
in the chat,
yes, please, in the chat.
if you're comfortable with that. Yes, I've been to a couple of launch pads myself and they're very informative and very helpful. I agree.
I'm actually working with on my team Stephanie. We're doing a
Mhm.
launch pad for Yellow Dig. Not Yellow Dig, I'm sorry, Perusal.
Perusal,
There's been some
yes.
changes.
Hmm.
So hopefully we can see you all there. But if you have more questions about the launch pad, who really, I know I'm just going to add to a presentation. Who, if someone wants to attend a launch pad, okay, there we go.
You can directly email me. We do it quarterly.
Awesome.
Okay,
All right.
then I'm going to end the poll. We appreciate.
That is so cool. So it looks like Notebook LM wins by a hair here. Microsoft Loop, Microsoft Whiteboard. I'll tell you, these are some really cool tools.
Yes, and once again, it's everything has a learning curve. It's just one little bit at a time, one little bit at a time.
Oh, that's right. Jorge, you guys have recordings of the previous launchpads?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Which is found in the faculty resource.
fantastic.
Oh yes, I saw that. Thank you so much for that reminder, Misha. That is helpful.
I just added Jorge's email address. So if you would like to contact him about the launch pad, feel free to email him anytime. And he
Absolutely.
will definitely get you the information that you need.
Absolutely. We are here to help.
Well, we have 3 minutes left in our session, and I don't see any more questions. And I just would like to thank our presenters today for this useful information. I'm just so happy I was able to host a session that I was really interested in, so I can share this information with my developers. Just to give you all a heads up, we will be having a keynote speaker session at 2:30 with Dr. Kelly Austin, who is a Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Provost. So we hope that we all see you there. And just a quick reminder, when you close this Zoom app, you will be logged out. You have to go back in through your internet browser, and then you can click your next section. The next session begins at 2 p.m.
Thank you, everyone.